There comes a moment in every person's life when the noise becomes too loud, the opinions too heavy, the distractions too frequent, and the world too comfortable. That's the moment you feel it, a pull inside you, a whisper telling you, it's time to go ghost, not to run away, not to disappear forever, but to finally lock in, to finally choose yourself, to finally build a life you were always capable of living. People think going ghost means ignoring everyone. No, it means ignoring who you used to be. It means letting go of the version of you that survived, so you can create the version of you that wins. When you go ghost, it's not about abandoning people. It's about abandoning excuses. It's about choosing discipline over distraction, purpose over comfort, growth over approval. Don't you see? When you're really the world starts noticing your absence before it notices your transformation. Because true growth is quiet, silent, invisible, until it isn't. You don't need to announce your goals. You don't need to explain your boundaries. You don't need to broadcast your journey. You just need to work. When you go ghost, you aren't hiding. You're evolving. You're giving yourself the time, the focus, the clarity you've been denying for years. And the truth is this: if nothing changes in you, nothing will ever change around you. Your external world will always reflect your internal world. Chaos inside creates chaos outside. Strength inside creates strength outside. If you smile at a mirror, the mirror smiles back. If you frown, it frowns back. Life works the same way. You can go from failure to success, absolutely. But you can never go from excuses to success. That path does not exist. Every time you say, I'll start tomorrow, I'm too tired, it's not the right time, you are building a life based on delay, instead of a life built on desire. Excuses are comfortable. Excuses are familiar. Excuses are deadly, because they feel good now and destroy you later. I wish I could walk into your life like a friend, look you in the eyes and tell you the truth. Excuses are a dead-end street. If you stay there, your life will never move. Everything you know will change. Life evolves with or without your permission. And the person you are today is not the person you'll be tomorrow. You cannot step into the same river twice. The water changes, and you change with it. The world does not wait for those who fear change. And when you resist change, you are resisting life itself. Victim mentality is the heaviest chain a person can wear. It locks your hands. It blinds your eyes. It steals your future. When you identify as a victim, you give away the very power you need to rise. Life doesn't happen to you. Life happens for you. Even the pain, even the losses, even the moments you felt abandoned, that is a future version of you standing at the top of the mountain, looking down at your struggle and saying, keep going, you'll understand later. Just climb. When you finally decide to go ghost, something interesting happens. You start meeting the real you, not the distracted you, not the overthinking you, not the people-pleasing you, but the focused you. You start to notice how much energy you used to waste. Energy spent explaining yourself. Energy given to people who never gave you anything back. Energy poured into conversations that didn't feed your future, but now you're different. Now you're direct. Now you're aligned. You're no longer chasing validation. You're chasing purpose. You're no longer trying to fit in. You're trying to rise. And slowly, quietly, something inside you begins to shift. Your hunger returns. Your discipline strengthens. Your clarity sharpens. You wake up one morning and realize you're no longer motivated by attention. You're motivated by elevation. The old cycle breaks. The old patterns die. And the old version of you disappears into silence. Because when you go ghost, you're not isolating, you're upgrading. Most people don't understand this phase because they've never entered it. They fear solitude because they've never met themselves in stillness. But the strongest people you know, the real leaders, the people who changed their lives from nothing, they all went ghost before they became great. Greatness is born in silence. Champions are built when nobody is watching. Legends rise when the audience is asleep. You see, discipline is not loud. Discipline is not glamorous. Discipline doesn't come with applause. Discipline is waking up when your body wants to quit. Discipline is working when your emotions want to break. Discipline is choosing progress over pleasure every single day. And discipline requires space. Space from negativity. Space from distractions. With space from people who drain your energy with their doubt. That's why going ghost is necessary. Not for the world, but for your evolution. There's a moment in the journey when life tests you quietly. Not with storms, but with silence. You're not failing. You're being prepared. Prepared to outgrow habits that used to hold you back. Prepared to detach from people who were never meant to stay. Prepared to create a life that requires a stronger version of you. And here's the truth most people ignore. Your next chapter will demand a version of you that your current chapter cannot handle. So the universe removes people. It removes distractions. It removes comfort. Not to punish you, but to free you. But to free you. Growth feels lonely because the top of the mountain has fewer seats than the valley. But the view is worth every step. Going ghost gives you the time, the space, and the control to become the person who belongs at the top. This is the stage where your circle shrinks, your focus sharpens, your goals rise, and your excuses die. This is the stage where you realize you are not behind, you are not late, You are simply becoming. There comes a time when you look around and realize half the people you once trusted are no longer beside you. Half the things you once cared about no longer matter. Half the habits you once defended no longer fit the person you're becoming. This is transformation. This is alignment. This is the silent shift that happens when you go ghost. You start recognizing who's real and who's convenient, who pushes you forward and who pulls you backward, who genuinely wants you to grow and who only wants you to stay the same. Because the moment you decide to improve your life, life exposes everything that cannot grow with you. And yes, it can feel uncomfortable. It can feel lonely. It can feel like the world is getting smaller. But that's exactly what's supposed to happen. The world isn't shrinking. Your vision is sharpening. Your path is getting clearer. Your standards are rising. Your future is demanding more from you. And people who don't want to grow will always feel distant when you start leveling up. This is why going ghost is necessary. When you become focused, you stop chasing every noise around you. You stop reacting to every message, every opinion, every distraction. You stop trying to please everyone, because now you finally understand your purpose is not built on approval. You start pouring your energy into the right things, into learning, into healing, into taking action, into understanding who you are without the world's influence. And slowly, quietly you begin to feel something powerful. You're becoming emotionally independent. You no longer need motivation from others. You generate it. You no longer need validation. You trust yourself. You no longer need permission. You own your decisions. Life becomes less about proving people wrong and more about proving yourself right. Some days, improvement looks like waking up early. Some days it looks like saying no. Some days it looks like stepping away from people who drain you. Some days it looks like forgiving yourself for the mistakes you're still healing from. And every one of those days is progress. But remember, this elevation requires elimination. You cannot rise while holding on to things that hold you down. You cannot step into your next chapter while carrying the weight of your last one. Letting go doesn't mean you're cold. Letting go doesn't mean you're distant. Letting go doesn't mean you don't care. Letting go means you're choosing growth over guilt. Letting go means you're choosing purpose over comfort. Letting go means you're choosing a future worth fighting for. Because the truth is simple. You can't become unstoppable while staying available to everything that stops you. This is your chapter of separation. Your chapter of rebuilding. Your chapter of sharpening your edges and strengthening your spirit. This is where the old you fades and the real you begins. Listen, if you really want to level up, if you really want to evolve, you must understand one truth. Your biggest enemy is not outside you. Your biggest enemy is inside you. It's your comfort, your laziness, your old habits, your emotional reactions, your fear, your doubt, your past. Let me tell you something real. Before you conquer the world, you must conquer yourself. Asterisk, too many people stop themselves because they're waiting for permission. Permission from family, from friends, from society. Permission to start. Permission to change. Permission to grow. But listen carefully. You don't need permission to evolve. You need courage when you go ghost. When you start working in silence. People won't clap for you. People won't understand you. Some may even doubt you. But none of that matters. Because your purpose doesn't require approval. It requires action. Asterisk, everyone talks about working out, exercising, training the body. But the real gym, the real training ground, is your mind. The mind is where success is built. The mind is where discipline is created. The mind is where all battles begin and end. Ask yourself, are you feeding your mind with consistency or feeding it with excuses? Because excuses grow, they multiply, they become a lifestyle. And you cannot go from excuses to success. It's impossible. They don't exist in the same universe. Asterisk, this part may hurt, but you need to hear it. No one is coming to save you. Not your friends, not your family, not your motivation, not your circumstances. It's you, and only you. You become unstoppable when you finally accept full responsibility. When you stop blaming the world. When you stop saying, life is unfair, and start saying, okay, so what? Or rise anyway. Life doesn't happen to you. It happens for you. Every challenge, every setback, every heartbreak is pushing you toward a stronger version of yourself. But you will never see the blessing if you're too busy complaining about the burden. Asterisk, let me give you a truth that will change your life. You cannot outperform yourself. If you see yourself as weak, you will act weak. If you see yourself as a failure, you will behave like one. If you see yourself as a victim, you will stay stuck. But the exact moment, you change your identity and say, I am winning. I am becoming better. I am built for greatness. Your actions change. Your habits change. Your energy changes. Your entire life changes. Because identity shapes destiny. Asterisk, you must evolve with the times. The world will not slow down for you. Opportunities will not pause. Life will not freeze until you're ready. Like the ancient saying, you cannot step into the same river twice. Because the river is constantly moving, and you are constantly changing, so stop resisting change. Stop holding on to old versions of yourself. Stop pretending that growth is optional. Growth is survival. Growth is success. Growth is the only way you rise.